Hi, this is Ryan Bush. I'm the president of ICP Didache Institutes. When I served as pastor for 5 years of a church here in the United States, I made critical mistakes. It wasn't that I did any one thing terribly wrong. Rather, my understanding of what my role as a pastor should be was wrong. I was more worried about growing the church numerically than intentionally caring for each member's soul. I spent more time planning and maintaining programs than preparing to preach the scriptures with clarity, precision, passion. I lived as though my efforts and abilities were more productive than prayer. And to be honest, much of the time I was more worried about pleasing man than pleasing God. And my vision of biblical pastoral leadership was foggy at best. Graciously, the Lord has matured me. He's shown me what His Word says, and He's used that experience of pastoring, also some excellent pastoral books, and countless hours alongside faithful shepherds to develop within me a clear vision of and deep respect for the office of the pastor. So, for these reasons, I'm joyfully anticipating teaching a course online, The Role of the Pastor, starting in just a few weeks. This is a part of the Didache Institute's online program. God's plan for the spread of the gospel and the maturation of Christians is the local church. Jesus gave pastors to tend to these local assemblies as under shepherds until He returns. Pastors are the assistants to the chief shepherd, the good shepherd, Jesus Christ. Peter wrote to pastors saying, I exhort the pastors, shepherd the flock of God that is among you. And Paul told pastors, pay careful attention to all the flock in which the Holy Spirit has made you overseers to care for the church of God, which He obtained with His own blood. Can you imagine a more critical or weighty role than the man who has been called to shepherd the blood-bought people of God? If you are a pastor, you ought to tremble at those words. If you're not a pastor, you ought to be driven to pray fervently for your pastor and do all that you can to encourage him and assist him in the work to which he has been called. The question is, what is that work? What does it mean to shepherd the flock? What is the job of the pastor, and how should he go about completing that job? How should the pastor spend his time? What should be the priorities of a pastor's day, week, month, years? This class is intended to provide a clear biblical job description for pastors. This course is for those who desire to become a pastor and for those who are currently serving as a pastor. But this course is also for church members. The whole congregation should understand the role of the pastor and God's plan for the shepherding of His church. Church members are often confused about what their pastors ought to be doing. And this is an unhealthy way to continue in the life of the church. When members properly understand the role of the pastors, then they can pray, encourage, and serve in ways that help their pastor fulfill his biblical role. And they can also help keep their pastor accountable to what he ought to be doing according to the scriptures. So I invite you to participate in this upcoming course. It's free of charge and will be firmly rooted in the scriptures. This course will last about 10 weeks. It will involve reading, watching video lectures, interacting online, and responding to the information that you are learning through quizzes and other ways to measure what you're learning. I hope that you'll consider it prayerfully. And if you know anyone who may benefit from this course, I invite you to send them this link as well. If you're interested, simply fill out the registration form on this page and we'll be getting information to you shortly. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know.